Hey, good evening. This is Dr. B and Angie B, and from Next Horizon and from Millbrook Urban Farms. And we want to talk to you a moment about something really important that happened today with the Aquaponics Victory Garden.
It's really, really exciting.
Now, we believe that everyone, in this time of viruses and trouble, that people really want to eat, and they want to eat healthy, and the best ways of doing that is from their own backyards. But in urban areas, we got postage stamps in backyards. We don't have much room to grow any amount of real food. I don't mean like 10 pounds of food. I mean hundreds of pounds of food in our backyards like we used to do 75 years ago with the Victory Gardens. 800 pounds, 1,000 pounds, even 400 pounds. Well, we've been running this demonstration project to demonstrate that it can still be done today if we use a little 21st century magic in aquaponics.
When did you first started the Victory Garden Aquaponics project? Was it?
She's going to interview me. Now, we started this back in January, and we basically took a kiddie pool, modified it, and turned it into this wonderfully functioning aquaponics garden where we were growing lettuces and chars and collard greens and cucumbers and flowers and
various
herbs, and just an abundance of food. And our goal was to demonstrate that we could reach 400 pounds of production by the end of the growing season. Today we reached what's today? January 17th?
Today?
Yeah, what's today?
Oh, I don't know.
No, not January 17th.
July.
July 17th. Okay.
Just because we're so busy, we don't keep track. It's COVID-19.
Yeah, we're stuck in the house. We don't even know what day it is. Okay, but today on July 17th, 2020, we reached 200 pounds. That's as much as I weigh. I weigh about 195 pounds. I'm sitting in this house. I've been getting a little big. Okay, but
Not my fault.
But we reached 200 pounds. Now, the average male in the U.S. weighs 197. The average person weighs 177. We reached 200 pounds of production out of this kiddie pool. I'm going to throw a picture of a kiddie pool right here, of this kiddie pool today. And it's only the middle of July. That means we got all the way till November to grow even more food and more different kinds. And we've learned all kinds of things about managing it, how to harvest it correctly, how to feed the fish correctly. All these things are working. 200 pounds. That's a major milestone.
It's a lot of cooking, a lot of freezing, a lot of dry goods development, a lot of canning. And speaking of canning, I want to share of the 200 that we had today. This is part of the 200. So this is peppers, Armenian cucumbers, jalapeno peppers, garlic, onion, and
it all came from aquaponics.
All came from the aquaponics. So I really shouldn't be holding this right now because it's still a little bit warm, but I want to give you an example. And this is what I call like a smorgasbord. What we'll do with this is put it over pasta or eat it by itself with some main meat dish. And another thing, this is, what are those big tomatoes you grow?
Oh, the celebrity tomatoes.
The celebrity tomatoes, they grow so large and so abundantly. So this is just, what is it? Crushed tomato, not crushed tomatoes, whole tomatoes, whole tomatoes. And because I had other things to do today, so I couldn't make pasta or salsa. And this is his peppers from the aquaponics unit. So it tastes just as good or better than soil grown foods. The only difference is when you wash the foods from the aquaponics, you will need to rinse with maybe a capful, which is like maybe
Vinegar?
a tablespoon of vinegar.
White vinegar.
White vinegar, and that basically neutralizes any bacteria that may be on the food. Now, bacteria is everywhere, but just as an extra precaution, you would do that anyway with soil, vegetables, and fruit. But because we have fish growing in the aquaponics unit at the bottom, we use the vinegar, white vinegar.
No, even though just like any backyard farmers, you're going to go out there and eat your food. No matter what you do, we always recommend that you make your product as safe as possible, particularly any product that you are going to be eating raw. Now, if you cook it, that kills everything. But if you're going to be eating it raw, make sure that that you do something to clean the surface as well, so you can minimize the opportunity for anything to happen.
And one of the things that I like most, there's so many advantages of having the aquaponics unit, but what I like most about it is, as an example, I had a health emergency out of state that I had to go see about my mom, and which left my soil garden not being able to produce as much because of the heat. The aquaponics was able to continue growing, and while the soil garden was not producing, the aquaponics is producing. So we get to piggyback off both of the various types of gardening. And the other thing about aquaponics gardening is it grows in abundance at a faster rate than in the soil garden. So there's always food growing here on Millbrooks Urban Farm using soil garden and aquaponics unit.
But today, all that 200 pounds came only from the aquaponics. Mm-hmm. And one of the challenges that we've had is that we just got food laying everywhere. And so what do we do with all this? And so this is meant the necessity is the mother of invention. So so Angie has invented new recipes. We make our salads totally without lettuce that could come from the summer gardens. She thought of even of different ways to can everything and to preserve everything, because nothing comes off at the same time, And so we can have cucumbers, in December, whatever else. And she even taught the dog how to eat cucumbers.
Chip, the Chihuahua, loves cucumbers. Who knew?
I'm watching this dog eat a cucumber. I'm like, the cucumber, our medians get big. The cucumber is bigger than a dog is.
That's true. Can I show them one of his cucumber? I'll be right back. You can continue talking.
She just left me here in the middle of a video. Anyway, but in the coming months, we're going to be showing you videos, not only showing you pretty pictures of how well the system is growing and we're managing it, and it has not been perfect. We've learned all kinds of things. This is a farm. This is a mini farm, and you got to learn how to farm this thing. There's no magic bullets here. It's a mini farm. But this is an Armenian cucumber. Now, we harvest it at this size. They can get 4 times bigger, but we harvest it on purpose at this size because the flavor is better. And Angie,
it is really, really good. What I like to do.
But the dog.
Oh, the dog. Chip loves this. What I do is I peel the outside of it because it's very tough, and he doesn't like the outside. But the inside is nice and crunchy, sweet, flavorful, and so I cut it into 4ths or 8ths, and I give it to him as a num-num, a treat, so to speak. So it's really good and healthy for him, and it helps with his digestive system. It allows him to have a little treat in the middle of the day if he likes, and it's good for everybody.
And that's the point here. We believe that the best food comes from your own backyard. But if you're really trying to farm it, this it's not about, again, growing 10 pounds. It's about growing hundreds of pounds in an actual measurable percentage of your annual food intake from your backyard. And now we have demonstrated today that you can actually do this in an urban setting. And we're also making sure that we waste almost nothing from this farm. I know but during the winter, there are lots of plants that we're growing, that leafy greens, that some of the leaves are not suitable for human consumption. It just happens. But we can give those same leaves to our chickens, and their chickens then give us eggs.
Delicious eggs. The thing that I noticed about giving the chickens vegetables, which a lot of people, will give their chicken scraps, but the aquaponics vegetables seem to hold a certain, I don't know this for sure, but a certain amount of nutrition inside the vegetables, the leaves or whatever may have you, the stems, and they eat this. Now, what happens is they're healthier. The cost of chicken feed is less because we're not feeding them as much chicken feed, and the eggs are richer, the shells are harder, which makes everything stronger, and it allows for longer preservation. I do preserve eggs, so the eggs that we're getting right now, the chickens are eating the scraps, and these eggs I will be preserving in the month of July. Now, we will be eating these eggs from July until April next year, 9 months. That's a whole nother video. But the point is that the eggs are delicious and they're very healthy, and the chickens are kept healthy from the aquaponics unit.
And so in the near future, we're going to be showing you recipes. We're going to be showing you canning methodologies. We're going to be showing you the dog. We're going to be showing you everything necessary, to take all this food that you can grow in your backyard in an urban area. Like we live here in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 117 degrees the other day. The garden really didn't like that, but it lost the
still producing.
It's still producing. Lost the zucchini though. The zucchini couldn't take it.
And the thing about it is one of the things to really we take for granted water. But once you fill the tank, the pool with water, you don't have to keep watering the plants, and so they continue to produce. You don't have to go out and till, pull weeds or things of that nature. So it's good for children, school projects, elder people, general families, whatever age you may be, individuals, singles, and it's really an awesome project.
And we record everything, every leaf, every pound of vegetables, every pound of fish, or the fish feed that goes in, whatever it takes. And one of the most important things, because we can end this video, because we can talk here for hours, and we will, but over time, okay, is water. Okay, we're in a water poor city, and one of the great things now the city of Phoenix has recently put aquaponics directly into their city council approved urban food plans, which is incredible. The city of Phoenix wants us to do aquaponics, and one of the things about it is that they're interested in, does it actually save all the water that we say it does? The folks talk about 90% saving of water. Well, we're testing that. Every day we measure how much water our system has used over the past day. And right now in the hundreds. Okay. All right, sorry about that. We had a slight technical glitch right there where the phone rang, and so we had to splice it together. So here, anyway, we are actually testing how much water this uses. We measure it every day, and right now it's using about 50 gallons of water a day. Now then we're going to compare that to if we were growing the same amount of food using a soil garden, it takes about 1,000 square feet to grow this 400 pounds of food versus our 150 square feet. How much is the water differential as far as the measured rate to produce the two? And we'll have an actual understanding of how much water this actually uses, using it as a regular farmer, not in a scientific circumstance at a university, and so that everyone can use it.
So let me ask you a question. What are the dimensions of the aquaponics unit?
Okay, the aquaponics unit is 70 square feet footprint. That is, it's 7 feet across, it's 10 feet long, and it's 2 feet deep. But we're growing a lot of really big plants. Tomatoes are not small plants. And so they're coming out on trellises, and the cucumbers are coming up on trellises, and a few of them are trailing along the ground only because I haven't put a trellis up. And so overall space is about 150 approximately square feet of ground space, even though we want to find some way to do better with the trellises, so we actually use less ground space.
So one of the things that I'm not a scientist such as he is, but what I can attest to is the amount of water that is used to fill the aquaponics unit is so many cubic feet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that cubic feet that pretty much stays in, and every now and then he replenishes, not the whole unit, but just a portion of it. I use that amount of water in a few days to a week's time on the soil. So I don't know the number, percentage, or whatever may have you, but I do know that the aquaponics saves on water as opposed to the water used on the soil garden. Now, the difference in, some people may ask about the taste. I personally don't see a taste difference in the between the aquaponics and the soil garden. I'm partial because that's what I grew up with, the soil garden and foods from that. But I've grown accustomed to as well the aquaponics, and the food tastes the same. The only difference is you get an extra value, which are fish or shrimp.
So we're going to shut this video down now, because we can keep going here, because there's so much to say. But what we met that milestone, we proved it, and that will allow us now to move directly into how do we use all of this food that we are, all this aquaponic food that we are producing. And she's amazing. I don't know how she comes up with all this stuff. No, I'm not much of a cook. Now Angie got, see, now how many master's degrees you got?
I only got one. I'm working on a doctorate.
Okay, and so and so we share our cooking duties, but she is, I'm just I'm a blessed man. Okay.
The thing about the food is that you have to constantly create different ways to manage the food, cook the food, preserve the food. And with so much of a bounty coming off the aquaponics, I've had to adapt to being able to prepare food differently, prepare food to be preserved differently, whatever may have you. It's been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge. It's been a kind of a problem, but it's been a great problem. We give food to our family, to our neighbors, to my co-workers, and we still have a counter full of food right now that I need to figure out what to do with.
So on that bright note, we will say adieu for now. But keep watching what we're doing here in Aquaponics Victory Garden. It's going to be great for the next until December, when we are going to close the project down, do all the numbers, and be able to come back to you to say we've actually been able to grow food out here. Now our goal is to make sure that the value of the food, and that is not the value, but the cost of producing the food works out so that it's less than the cost of buying it from the store. Meaning that if this cucumber cost me 80 cents a pound to grow, but in the store, you buy it for $1.20 or so, or $1.60, well, whatever else.
It'd be more than that. Okay. This is a unique cucumber.
Okay. So if it was collard greens or anything, if the cost of this that you grew is less than the cost you bought from the store, you win, because a penny saved is a penny earned. And that's cool. And so we'll be back with you shortly. This is Dr. B.
And Angie B.
And we'll be coming back to you soon. Take care.
Have a great day.